Hey guys, it's Brandon from Brandon's Comics. One of the things I told you about that we're going to start doing is we want to start talking about more of the new releases, the things that are coming out. We want people getting educated, excited about things. We told you, or I told you, last week about the book Die that we're real excited about. But go ahead, Tucker. Tell us about 1 and 2, because I've already talked about 1, but you might have a different perspective of it.
Sure. So 1 was really cool. I think what really hooked me, because I was a little on the fence about it. I was like, oh, this might be a good book. Like, it has a decent idea to it. But when I read it, it really hooked me because, and number 1, it was pretty much just set up. It was the kids are playing a game. They get sucked into the game, kind of like Jumanji. And then they get spit out. And we don't learn too much about what happened while they were in there. They just get spit out. And then it, fast forwards down the road, like I think it was like 30 years, because they got sucked in 91 and they came out in 2018. Or it's now 2018, but they've got their lives going on, and like they kind of ignored it. One of them stayed in there. The creator of the game stayed in there, and they didn't talk about it. And then so at the end of issue 1, we found out that they went back into the game, and now we're going to start learning about what actually happened. So in 2, there's a little bit more build-up. We find out that they're now back in the game, and they can't get out of the game until they all want to go home, which includes the original 6. So all of them have to want to go home.
But 1 was missing, though, right?
Yeah, so that one that was originally there wants to stay there, but they want to go home. So now they have to get him to want to go back home for them to leave the game.
Can they kill him?
I think that's what they might do, because when they're discussing it, they're like, well, we'll have to go fight him, and then
just go kill him and go home.
We beat him, maybe we'll be able to go home. So there's a lot of stuff, and I think that issue 2 is it was a bit more build up, but we got some action. We got to see the powers of them and what's going on. And without spoiling too much, there's a lot of different like interesting takes on the characters, and like using their emotions as powers, and they kind of dabble with like addiction, talking about how one of them, they use their powers, but it's an addiction, like kind of like a steroid you can use for a day and then it's gone. But so I think they're going to get into a lot of stuff in this book that is.
I wish I had something funny to say about steroids. It's just sad.
It is. So I think they're going to take a real take on this. They're going to mix fantasy with the real world, and I'm really excited for the rest of the series.
Didn't you say that they made a board game out of it too?
Yeah, so I heard, and I don't know how true it was, but apparently the writer of this is in works to make an actual game called Die, where the game that they play in this book is going to be a real game we can play, like Dungeons and Dragons. So I haven't heard much about it.
Nobody's losing arms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I don't know. If you ever played a Dungeons and Dragons game, it can get a little intense.
I've never even seen a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Really?
Yeah, never done it. So the book that I had wasn't really a lot of reading to it. It's mostly pictures, which I'm way into because I'm not really good at reading. But it's the first story of Jango Fett. Like I said, Star Wars is coming back, and they're doing a lot of different backstories on the books. It's going to be edited. But the cool thing about this one is they showed Jango Fett as a kid and Boba Fett, and I'm not going to ruin too much of it because not a lot happened in it. But you kind of see Jango Fett becoming that dark assassin. And you kind of see Boba Fett in a light where he's afraid, or he's feared by a lot of other people. So it was kind of cool looking at that. I am looking forward to the first page of the second issue of this, because it kind of ends in kind of a cool cliffhanger. But I just wanted to get this in. We got 2 books under our belt. We did some stuff. But thank you guys for listening. We're going to be on brandonscomics.com. We're doing more promotions. We'll let you guys know a little bit later in the week. But we have AceCon this weekend. So we will be closed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So thank you very much, Tucker.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a great day.